Hi there. Today I want us to have a look on how you can debug your MSIX application using the TraceFixup functionality of Package Support Framework. So I created a small test debug application in MSIX. It doesn't contain anything else than this sample redirect.exe. Now, if we open up the application, we won't have anything very fancy, right? We are just getting the current directory from where the application is running, and we are trying to create a file. Now, apart from the fact that I didn't do any try and catch here, or I don't want to catch exceptions because I'm lazy like that, let's have a look on how you can debug this application with Package Support Framework. Now, the problem with MSIX is that everything runs in a container, right? So what Package Support Framework does is offer you two DLL files right here, the trace fixups, which you implement in your package. And when you run the Package Support Framework, you need another small debug tool. This debug tool is called Debug View. You can find it on Microsoft website. And if you run this tool, it will catch everything that Package Support Framework sends. Okay? So first, what we need to do is place the Package Support Framework executables and other fixups in our MSIX package. So for that, we are going to edit our MSIX package with the MSIX packaging tool. Okay, cool. So in the root of the package, so not in the virtual file system folder, not in the assets folder, directly into the root, we need to add the Package Support Framework files, right? So to do that, right click, add file. Unfortunately, I don't know a way to add multiple files, so we need to add them one by one. I'm going to add the PSF launchers, the run DLL, the runtimes, the trace fixups, and wait for debugger fixups. Okay, so let me get back to when I finish adding them. Okay, and now that we added our files, let's go back to package information and open our manifest file. All that we need to do here is modify our application executable. We are going to place it as the PSF launcher for 64-bit and save and close the manifest. The last thing we need to do is create the configuration JSON file. Now, what happens with Package Support Framework is that when you launch an application, right? So you launch this application from start menu. Now we told it to launch the PSF launcher, not our actual application, right? And when you launch the PSF launcher reads from the configuration JSON file that we are going to create. And in the configuration JSON file, we need to place the fixups. Now, this is how our config JSON file will look like. So first of all, we need to tell the Package Support Framework which application to start. Remember that in our manifest file, we changed the executable to the PSF launcher, right? And now we are telling PSF launcher, hey, please launch this executable that I have, right? And then for all the processes, for all the executables that are running, we need to place some fixups. Now we are going to use the TraceFixup 64 DLL. You can also leave it here like TraceFixup.dll, and that's pretty much it. And here for the TraceFixups, you have multiple configurations. Now, this is the default trace method. You can have other ones, and our trace levels are set to all failures. Now, Microsoft recommends that you leave your trace levels as default, and only if you cannot debug your application, you go with all the failures that are happening. Now, because my application is so hard, I need to put them all, right? Because, yeah. Looking on Microsoft GitHub page for the Trace Fixup, you can find all of the configuration and other important stuff like the trace level, so forth and so on. So I will leave this link in the description and have a look here how you can configure it, right? And now that we have our configuration JSON file created, all that we need to do is to add it in our package files. So let me do that right away. We've added our configuration JSON file. All that we need to do is to save it. No, don't increment. Yeah, save it on the desktop. Okay, cool. Let's uninstall our bad application, right? Let's install our modified MSIX package. Don't launch it. And then let's open up debug viewer, open up the sample redirect. It already started to trace a lot of things here. Okay, cool. So let's close, let's clear the console, right? Clear again, and let's create a file. Oh no, our application crashed. So let's see what the debug viewer picked. So let's go on to the top. Hey, and there you go. Our application tries to write a sample file and it doesn't have writes. There you go. So this is our issue. In MSIX, you cannot create files in your install directory. So you cannot create files, for example, this install directory is in C, program files, Windows apps, test, debug, etc. The default installation is C, program files, Windows apps, and with some rules here. In order to make this application work, we need to add a file redirection. I will leave a link down below with an article that I have regarding this. And that's pretty much it. This is how you can debug applications with the Trace Fixup. I hope you enjoyed this video. I see you in the next one. Bye bye.